Now, you're the bartender on Bachelor in Paradise, which obviously we love, but we've been saying all season long and all summer, we were like, why can't they just make Wells the host of Bachelor in Paradise? Why can't you just be the host? What was with the rotating cast of hosts this season? What did you think about it? And would you even want to take on the role of hosting that entire show?
Yes, I wanted to host the show. And if I'm being honest, I asked to host the show. All the shows, if I'm being fair.
Yeah.
Why just stop at Paradise?
I know.
Why wouldn't you ask that?
Yeah. And my pitch was like, I've been on more Bachelor shows than anybody in the history of the franchise. Like, and it's not even close. Like, it's like 70 shows that I've done, you know? For Paradise, I think the show is a comedy, right? Like, and we had just waded through a lot of like heavy subject matter with Bachelor and Bachelorette stuff. And so I think the thought is the show that is our comedy show really needs to shine as a comedy. And how do we do that? Let's bring in like a lot of like levity with like a David Spade or a Titus or Lil Jon. So I understood like where they're coming from. It was also on the heels of how Jeopardy was doing really well with guest hosting of that show. And I think the thought process is that this will do the same thing. The difference between Jeopardy and Paradise is the star of Jeopardy is the host of Jeopardy.
You see them the whole episode.
Yes. The star of Paradise and The Bachelor and The Bachelorette is not the host of that show. They are facilitator for production. They are able to set things up and present things for the real stars, which are the leads, or in my case in Paradise, the multiple leads that we've got and all the different storylines. And so I think that was what was difficult about it, because of course if you're paying for David Spade, you want to see David Spade, but David Spade can't be the star of the show because David Spade isn't the star of the show. Right. Joe and Serena and Marissa and Riley and everyone else, they're the stars. And so I think that was the kind of the disconnect with all of it. I thought it was funny. Like the truth of the matter is that especially in Paradise, we film so many funny bits that never make air, and it bums me out because like I do feel like everyone's missing out on like gold. Like Spade and I did a lot of really funny bits together that never made air, which is a bummer because
major.
I know, but
do you get to? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you get to keep that? Can you be like, can I have that footage like just for myself?
No. No, but like and it bums me out too because we did. So when I got to, they let me be a host 1 week of the show, right? So
towards the end, we remember we were like, yes,
we're like, he's doing it.
We're like, we ran out of fucking money. Well, let's go in there and do it. So we did a funny bit where they cut it out except for the first episode, but like Spade came in and was like, "Wells, my boy, like what's been going on?" Then I give him a download of like, "All right, this is what's happening." And so I did that throughout the entire season. It never really made air, and then I did one with myself. So I shot like celebrity Wells asking bartender Wells what was going on, and it was like a back and forth that was hilarious. And I was like, "This has got to stay in the show," and it was left on the cutting room floor, which is a bummer. But that's also something that like I've come to understand and like embrace is like that. I'm not the star of that show. And even when I do help the show and I set up scenarios or I help people go on dates and stuff, I get cut out of it because I'm not the star. I'm just there to help facilitate the show.
Right, but I feel like if you were the host, then more of those bits could be included rather than, and like you said, yes, it was funny. All those people were great. But if it was just you, then there would be more time for that. And also, I just think that all of the people that go on the show are so comfortable talking to you, and you can tell, and it's like you're just like a mentor, and you've been around it, you've been on the show, so you know how it works. So I just don't know why they don't just do it. But
I don't either. I'm with you.
After this season, because it was like you didn't get to, even though they are, of course, are not, the host is not the star of the show, but like you would, like Spade got to do a date and Lance Bass got to do a date where they were kind of involved in the date, but like that was it, and then they were gone.
Yeah.
So it's like if it's someone like you, it's you get to build, you get to do little things and it's the same person, which I think is so much better. But yeah, like Rhea said, when we talked to Joe and Serena about this, and we're like, we think Wells would be such an amazing host, and they were like, 100%, we agree. Selfishly, we would hope that he could do both, because as the bartender, we get to talk to him so much more than we would if he was just the host.
Yeah.
And he is very helpful.
Yeah.
For sure. And that is something that when I was pitching for that job and what it was supposed to originally look like, that was the plan. Like, I would still be the bartender, and then to be honest, I still hosted all the rose ceremonies, and that's kind of the main thing.
That's basically the host job.
So like I was, Spade
kind
and
of
Titus, and yes, they came in, but like I was doing all the work. And it was more so.
And they were paying you less.
Of course. But it was more so like those things. The rose ceremony starts so late. So like, you can't have Spade be there for 18 hours, but of course you're going to have dipshit bartender be there. But that was the original plan because, and Chris is a dear friend of mine, but the problem with Chris is that he is, or at least when I was on the show, he is tucked away. He's separated from everybody else. For understandable reasons, there needs to be kind of separation of church and state, whereas for the bartender thing, I'm in such a unique position because I was once on that beach in their position. Like, I get where they are coming from. I understand all their fears, their anxieties about like how the show is going to look, how people are going to perceive them. I don't really like this person, but I don't want to look like an asshole. Like, I understand all of that stuff, so I can help them navigate those waters. But now I've been there for so long, I do have like a little bit of seniority just because I've done more episodes than anybody else, so I can kind of do both. I think that was one of the things that everyone was really scared about, was whether or not it would be weird if I was doing both things, because you can't be a confidant but then also seem like the executive producer of the show, and so it was like waiting that fine line. I think we did it, and I think we should do it going forward.
I think so too. I think you can do it. I also think it would be pretty funny to watch like the transition from bartender Wells with the shirt and like the whole look into like, you can make that its own bit of now you're host Wells, and you have like a jacket that just goes over the bartender shirt when you're ready to do the roast. That's its own funny thing. And I do think
somebody from the show's listening.
I mean, I would be shocked if it didn't happen too, because I just feel like by the time the season ended, from at least what we gauged from social media and from posting about it, I don't think we had anyone disagree with us that they thought that job should be yours.
Everybody was saying that.
So like,
it's
everybody was saying and they pay attention to that stuff. That's obviously a huge factor.
Robert
when it comes
Mills,
to making
if you're listening to
this, come on, Millsy, you know, you got to make the right choice here.
Do it.